마시기라고 주고 기게 이제 부배 하나 마시기라고 주고 기게 Sunshine, thank you for rain, thank you for soil, thank you for pain. It's a beautiful day, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a beautiful day, yeah, yeah, yeah. Solo di mosina dekele Agave solo di mosina chagima Osimi neru hari no tutogina Hari yabino ya nefufa kane nyegekele Umumadu binu wane wibere na chagima Imela, Imela, Imela. For His mercies endureth forever. Amen. For His mercies endureth forever. In the highest, amen. Glory be to God in the highest, amen. For His mercies endureth forever, amen. For His mercies endureth forever, amen. victorious. Oh, yes, we are victorious. Oh, who has given us victory? to God who has given us victory. Osimiri neruhari no tutogina Ayabino ya nefufa kane yekekele Umumadu binu wane wibere na jahagima Anasimela, imela, imela Osimiri neruhari no tutogina Ayabino ya nefufa kane yekekele Umumadu binu wane wibere na jahagima Anasimela, imela, imela Sunshine, thank you for rain, thank you for joy, thank you for pain. It's a beautiful day, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a beautiful day, yeah, yeah. Oshubare mare oh Oshubare mare oh Oshubare mare oh Oshubare oh Oshubare mare 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 Oshubare mare oh Oshubare mare oh Oshubare mare oh Oshubare mare oh Oshubare mare o, 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 Oshubare mare. Wonder, 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 wonder. 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 Etobi, cause anytime the shaka wear Etobi, money cause anytime the shaka wear Etobi. It's a beautiful day, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a beautiful day.
University of Nigeria. Please do that very well. Thank you. You're free. Permit me to please make welcome for the opening prayer, Emeritus Professor Ernest Onwuasigwe.
Most gracious Father, we thank you for the time and the that we have gathered again. Lord, to celebrate, Lord, your mercies, your inestimable grace upon our brother. Father, today as he testifies of your many visitations upon his life, we pray, Lord, that you descend in your majesty and abide with us. Lord God, we pray that you bless the words of our mouth, bless the meditations of our heart. And at the end of the time, may we go rejoicing. For we pray in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Please, you can be seated. Council members of the University of Nigeria here present, principal officers of this great institution, distinguished professors and academics, my Lord spiritual and temporal, royal fathers here present, lions and lionesses, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all to this wonderful academic event. Before we kickstart this event, permit me to briefly inform us that a valedictory lecture is like the zenith, or is the zenith of a scholar's academic pursuits in the academia. It shows that scholar or such scholar has fulfilled its time or length of service in the academic system. Nonetheless, this doesn't mean that when such scholar retires, he stops learning, researching, or teaching. Because there's an Igbo adage that says that agadi emegene, ada kankane agba, right? Good. So today we're here to witness a scholar give his valedictory lecture. Before I preempt the topic, please permit me to make introductions and recognition. I'll start by recognizing the chairman of this event, who's acting in double capacity, representing the Vice Chancellor, and in his own right as the Deputy Vice Chancellor of this great citadel of learning. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Professor Daniel Chukwu Nwachukwu. I'd like to recognize the Provost College of Medicine, Professor H.U. Izigui. Please appreciate him. The Dean, Faculty of Clinical Sciences, Professor Chris Eke. Please appreciate him. The Chairman, Senior Ceremonials, Professor Elsie Humano. Please appreciate her. The valedictory lecturer. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Professor Ikefuna. Professor Ikefuna is not here alone. He's accompanied by his beautiful wife, because we know that besides every successful woman, there's equally a successful, a supportive, a reliable, and a strong wife. Ladies and gentlemen, can we please put our hands together for Mrs. Polly Ikefuna, the wife of the valedictory lecturer. They are not here alone, they have their family members here, but I would like to recognize very quickly the children, the Ikefunas. Please, if you're here, just give us a wave. Chukwuike, if you're here, Ikefuna, give us a wave. Kenechukwu, if you're here, give us a wave. You can also appreciate them in absentia. Ogechukwu Jonas Ikefuna. Ogechukwu Jonas Ni Ikefuna. Chimbuike Jonas Dinaka Chiku Jonas and Dr. Chisom Onwigbo. Please appreciate them very specially. I'd like to recognize the immediate past Provost, College of Medicine, Venerable Emeritus Professor Ernest Onwasigwe. He's also accompanied here by his wife, Professor Ifoma. Oh, no, sorry, that's the recent Provost College of Medicine. So the recent Provost College of Medicine's wife is here also. Her name is Professor Ifoma Ezegwe. Please just give us a wave. I'd like to recognize very specially my own mommy, the Director of Institute of Maritime Studies, Professor Florence Orabwese. Please appreciate her very specially. And at this juncture, I'd like to recognize all the past inaugural lecturers here present and scholars and professors as well. Please appreciate yourselves. It's not easy to be here. We have the cream de la cream here. A lot of names to recognize, but to be very honest with you, we might not run through all these names. Well, please permit me to just quickly recognize His Royal Highness Igwe Professor Sir Charles Anikweze Nnaemeka III of Okuzu. Hope I got that correctly. Okuzu. You're very welcome. Igwe. High Chief Sir Oke Onyekwena Onowu Okuzu. Please appreciate him, the royal fathers and leaders from Okuzu, all the way from Okuzu. So we have Major General H.T. Dada. We need to appreciate this one very specially, otherwise. He's the GOC 82 Division, Nigerian Army, Enugu. Major, you're welcome, sir. I hope we're all safe now. You're welcome. Thank you. Honorable Bamster Ibekako Ono, Chairman, Enugu North Local Government Area. Please give us a wave, sir, if you're here. Can we please appreciate him very specially? I think this is Colonel and Mrs. Sam Wankwo. Please appreciate them if they are here. Give us a wave if you're here, sir. Sir Rob Anwatu, MD Roban Stores. Please, I need to see the MD of Roban Stores. It is very important to me because that store takes my money every week. You're very welcome, sir. We will get a voucher today. We appreciate your presence. Engineer Professor O.D. Onukuli, FAS. Please appreciate him. Architect Sam Obikbo, please appreciate him. Professor Greg Nwakobi, former Vice Chancellor, Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University, Igbariam. Please, if you're here, give us a wave, sir. You're very welcome. We appreciate your presence. Professor Ngozi Mbadjogo, all the way from ASUT. Professor Charles Aduaka, ASUT. Professor Mrs. C. Anumba, ASUT. Professor B. Okore, ASUT, Professor E.O. Ekeroma, Foundation Academic Staff of the Department of Paediatrics. Please appreciate them especially. I think I've recognized Major General Taiwo Dada, right? Yes, I've done the recognition. Okay, please permit me to recognize Professor Mark Adakili, former Dean and Provost of College of Medicine, I guess. Please appreciate him. Professor S.O. Iloeje, former what? CMAC UN. Sorry, I can't see this writing properly. Then Emeritus Professor Nene Obianyo. Please appreciate you very specially. Like I said, we will not run through every name here because they are quite much, but permit me to recognize quickly, Emeritus Professor B.C. Ozumba, the 14th Vice Chancellor of this great institution. Please, wherever you are, sir, give us a wave and let's appreciate him. It's not here. Emeritus Professor Sam Ohegbulam, please appreciate him very specially. Mr. Emeka Sibido, former Deputy Governor of Anambra State. He is here with his wife. Please, can we appreciate them very specially? Mr. Emeka, wherever you are, sir, please give us a wave. We appreciate your presence. And right about now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to put your hands together for yourselves and appreciate yourselves very warmly. It is not easy to be here. Are we hungry? Appreciate yourselves now. This is the time to appreciate yourself. Don't worry, if you're hungry, we'll go to Roban and get a loaf of bread. Man shall not live by bread alone, but today we might just live by bread. Ladies and gentlemen, permit me to hand the microphone over to the chairman, Senate Ceremonials, a very beautiful mommy, Professor Elsie Umano. Ma'am.
Thank you very much. The acting Vice Chancellor, in the person of the Deputy Vice Chancellor in Enugu campus, I am seeing so many people that we are jumped, and there's no way I can continue talking if I do not recognize Professor Martin Alhaji. Professor Ebibo. Professor Ezanolue. Professor. There is a provost, former provost, College of Medicine. I also wish to recognize once again my colleague who became the Igwe, Professor Charles. He's also my colleague as a fellow in the Nigeria Academy of Education. Igwe, I don't need to tell you people that I'm also in the military, so I salute my GOC, 82 Div. Thank you. So, Anya, oh, Anya. And I'm listening, and I'm so happy that many of them came from here. Came from the University of Nigeria, Enugu campus, and they are here. I salute you all with tremendous respect, sir. And I guess this explains why this particular valedictory lecturer is the 9th in this series. Of all the professors that have retired, he is the 9th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Thank you, sir, for your courage. Valedictory, as we know, means a statement of farewell or leave-taking. I am indeed honored by this valedictory lecturer, Professor Anthony Nnaemeka Ikefuna. Soon, he will be professional realms with hindsight, insight, and foresight. Over to you, our acting Vice Chancellor. In the person of our Deputy Vice Chancellor in Enugu campus, for your opening remarks.
Thank you very much. I think you've already started the opening remark. Thank you very much. I think you've already started the opening remark. You started it. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As has been said, I am here in double capacity. I'm representing the acting Vice Chancellor, and I'm also representing myself as the Deputy Vice Chancellor. So I want to welcome all of us. The acting Vice Chancellor, University of Nigeria, Professor Polycarp Emeka Chibu, the principal officers of the University of Nigeria, members of the Governing Council, University of Nigeria, members of the University of Nigeria Senate, emeriti professors here present, the GOC of 82 Division, my Lord Spiritual and Temporal, distinguished guests of the inaugural valedictory lecture of Professor Ikefuna. Valedictory lecture has been extremely scarce in the university. In fact, among all of us, Ikefuna has taken the bull by the horn. And I think all of us need to key in, just like we keyed in into the inaugural lecture. There was a time inaugural lecture was very difficult to give. But now you can see the inaugural lecture is being given almost on weekly basis. Though there is a kind of pause now, but we'll still continue. And we hope to make the inaugural lecture and valedictory lecture easy so that any person that wants to give will give it with minimum stress. Because what we've observed is that most of these things, people have raised the bar so high that when some people think of giving the inaugural lecture, they find out that they start getting jittery. But I promise you, we are going to make it such a way that inaugural lecture will begin and end in this place. Inaugural lecture is simply an academic exercise. It's not an ofala. All of us have been guilty of doing that ofala. I don't think it will continue. The valedictory lecture, just like the chairman said, this is the epic of your journey as an academic. Today, we want to listen to a special man. I call him special because if you look at him, so many people are here because of his personality. Some of us even went to the extreme, the down part of our apathy and collected our suitcases. If you see the suit I'm wearing, this is the first day I'm wearing it. If you check the provost, the one he's wearing, this is the first day he's equally wearing it. So that makes Professor Ikefuna a special man. And this is my first time of seeing the GOC 82 division live and direct in this hall. He's a man of... Professor Ikefuna has touched so many lives, including my humble self. He is the one that treated and is still treating all my children. And I'm sure so many of us fall in that same category. So he's a special person, and we want to thank God for him because having attained the mandatory retirement age of 70, he's still up and kicking. Not everybody will be able to do that. So can we clap for God? Ladies and gentlemen, we don't expect anything less from this great man. If you see the title of this, or the topic of this lecture, you find out that it promises to be very interesting. Traversing mountainous academic and professional realms with hindsight, foresight, and what? Insight and foresight. So I can't wait to listen to this lecture so that we will actually understand what he meant. But we know him very well, and we know he's going to do justice to this topic. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Vice Chancellor, management staff, and students of University of Nigeria, I declare this valedictory lecture open. Thank you.
Soon and very soon, we'll be listening to the Dean, Faculty of Clinical Sciences, Professor Eke, who will be reading the citation of Professor Ikefuna. So I implore each and every one of us to sit back and relax and enjoy and drink from this fountain of knowledge and experience. Thank you. Professor Eke.
ably represented by the DVC Enugu campus, Professor Dan Chukwunwachukwu. The valedictory lecturer, Professor Anthony Nnaemeka Ikefuna, and his amiable wife. A brief citation of Professor Anthony Nnaemeka transited before his graduation to a College of Medicine on 1st August 1980 with the Dean of August 1980 with the Dean of the faculty who also doubled as the first provost, an obstetrician, Professor E.O. Akande at the time. On completing his MBBS program, Dr. Ikefuna did his housemanship at the famous University of Nigeria Teaching Hospital Enugu and his National Youth Service Corps in Irua, in the Old Bend Estate, now present-day Edo State, and subsequently worked as a medical officer at Bishop Shanahan Hospital, Nsukka. While at Nsukka, he passed his primary fellowship examination of the National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria Faculty of Paediatrics. At that time, the primary fellowship examination was 75 naira only. I don't know what's the current price. Maybe Prof. Suwasoro will let us know. Thereafter, he commenced the residency training program in the Department of Pediatrics, UNTH, and completed his training and obtained fellowship of the National College in the Faculty of Pediatrics in 1997. After his residency program, he worked as a principal research fellow at the Institute of Child Health, University of Nigeria Teaching Hospital Enugu, from where he joined the Department of Pediatrics, College of Medicine, University of Nigeria in May 1999 as Lecturer 1, and rose through the ranks to the rank of full Professor of Pediatrics in 1st October 2011. In 2016, Prof. Ikefuna was elected as a Fellow of the prestigious Royal College of Physicians of Edinburgh, an over 340-year-old institution established in 1681 with membership in over 90 countries worldwide. His election into this college was in recognition of his contributions in the pediatric hematology subspecialty. His inputs as faculty secretary and later the faculty chief examiner of the Faculty of Pediatrics, National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria, were also cited during his formal admission into this college on the 3rd of March 2007 at Edinburgh, United Kingdom. In 2021, he was elected a Foundation Fellow of the Academy of Medicine Specialties of Nigeria for his outstanding achievements and honorific contributions in medicine specialties. It may also interest you to know that some other medical giants in our college have also been identified with this award. They include Emeritus Professor M.A.C. Araji, a former Dean, Faculty of Medicine, and also former Provost of our great college. Professor Rapuruchukwu Ezome, Professor Uche Nwara, and Professor Emeritus Professor N.S. Nnaemeka Onwasiwe. They are all recipients of this award. Later in the following year, 2022, he was again inducted a Fellow of the Merit-Based Nigerian Academy of Medicine. In addition, we also have other members of our college, including Professor Nwara, Professor Ifomu Olasi, Professor Onwujeku, and BSc Uzochukwu. They are also recipients of this very award. In addition, Prof. Ikefuna also earned the Doctor of Medicine degree of the National College. In the Department of Pediatrics, he has served as member of many committees, which included the academic and accreditation committees, as well as the chairman of postgraduate committee. Prof. Ikefuna is a former head of Department of Pediatrics and had an impactful tenure. He was selected as the best HOD in the faculty between the period 2018 to 2020 by the Dean of the faculty as at that time. It was during his tenure that the over 50-year-old department recorded the first distinction in pediatrics during the 4th MBBS examination. This was awarded to Dr. Chioma Ono, who is also a daughter of one of our colleagues, Dr. Austin Ono of the Department of Radiation Medicine. This academic feat was the outcome of the changes which he introduced, including the development of a handbook for training and assessment of students during their postings in the department, which was approved by the departmental board. In addition, he also initiated and set up a committee that developed the residence handbook in pediatrics, which is currently in use in the department. Other achievements during his tenure included streamlining the records of staff that are domiciled in the department, as well as placing the portraits of all past HODs in the office of the head of department. In addition, and with the approval of the board, he established the quarterly statutory departmental meetings and also developed a document that elucidates the duties of a departmental examination officer. I was also a beneficiary of this when I was exam officer. This document has also been adopted by some schools in Nigeria. In the Faculty of Clinical Sciences, College of Medicine, he served in many committees as either the chairman or member. Prof. Ikefuna is also the 149th inaugural lecturer of the University of Nigeria, which he delivered in the year 2019, and a member of the Senate of UNN. He is also a former pro-chancellor and chairman of council, Nnaemeka Ikefuna University, Anambra State-owned university. He has been an external examiner in pediatrics to several colleges of medicine of some universities for the undergraduate medical school examinations, including Nnamdi Azikiwe, University of Abuja, Imo State University, among others. Towards accreditation and reaccreditation of health institutions offering residency training in pediatrics, Professor Ikefuna has served as chairman, secretary, or member of accrediting teams to over 20 of such institutions in Nigeria, many in the South-South, University of Port Harcourt, University of Calabar Teaching Hospital, North Central, Abuja Teaching Hospital, and several others in the Southeast. He has presented papers at national and international conferences and published over 145 peer-reviewed articles in national and international journals, of many of which are rated in the Thomson-Reuters Impact Factor journal list. Over 80 of his publications are currently listed in the PubMed. He is listed in Google Scholar with an overall high index of 27, item index of 76, and over 2,400 citations to his name. Prof. Ikefuna is also rated in ResearchGate with a research internet score, RI score of over 1,000 and over 36,000 reads. He has also authored one chapter each in a standard textbook of pediatrics and atlas of pediatric surgery, edited by our own Professor Nene Obiayo, respectively. And these books are currently in use by medical students and residents across Nigeria and beyond. In addition, he has successfully supervised 72 fellowship dissertations by candidates who sat for and obtained the fellowships of either the National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria awarding FMC PED or the West African College of Physicians, FWCP. Others include MSc and PhD thesis in tropical pediatrics, as well as Doctor of Medicine, MD thesis in the Faculty of Pediatrics, National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria. 10 of his supervisees won prizes in the Faculty of Pediatrics of either of the colleges, either the National or the West African College, while over 20 of them are currently lecturers and or consultants in the departments of pediatrics. 10 of his supervised candidates are now professors of pediatrics and still counting, while another 3 are readers in pediatrics in the academic institutions. Others are senior lecturers, while some have established themselves in their areas of expertise. 4 of his either supervised or mentored professors have delivered their inaugural lectures in our university. He was a member of the Faculty Board of Pediatrics, National College, from 2005 to 2008, and later served as Faculty Secretary, Faculty Board of Pediatrics, from 2011 to 2015. Other positions held in the faculty include third Senate member from 2016 to 2019, and Chairman and Chief Examiner of the Faculty of Pediatrics from 2020 to 2023. All the positions that he has held as member of his faculty leadership were done without any opposition during their elections, which he had consistently attributed to God's grace. He is the immediate past chairman of the Quality Assurance Committee, which developed the rubric for mentoring fellowship examinations in all the faculties in the college, as well as disciplinary committee, respectively. He also served as chairman or member of some ad hoc committees in the National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria. Professor Nnaemeka Ikefuna is a former college coordinator of the National College Examinations Enugu Center, and a former coordinator and custodian of convocation materials for Enugu Center, and a former member of the College Doctor of Medicine MD Program Board. He has been a member of the Senate of the National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria, the body that regulates postgraduate training in Nigeria from 2011 till date. He is the current vice president of the National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria, which is the apex medical college in Nigeria. And by the grace of God, he is the president in waiting of this college. He is also the current chairman of the Senate Committee on Credentials and Fellowship Awards, one of the standing committees of the National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria Senate. He's also a member of the governing board of the college and also an examiner for the parts 1 and 2 final of the postgraduate examinations in the Faculty of Pediatrics. He's also an external examiner nominated by that college for the Doctor of Medicine degree examinations of other faculties in the National Postgraduate Medical College. He has reviewed manuscripts for several national and international journals, including BMC Research Notes, National Postgraduate Medical Journal, BMC Hematology, Nigerian Journal of Health Sciences, BMC Medical Research, Nigerian Journal of Clinical Practice, among others. Prof. Ikefuna is a fellow and member of many professional organizations, which include Medical and Dental Consultants Association of Nigeria, Pediatric Association of Nigeria, Nigerian Medical Association, Nigerian Society of Pediatric Oncologists, Fellow of the National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria, Fellow of the Royal College of Physicians of Edinburgh, Fellow of Nigerian Academy of Medicine, Fellow of the Academy of Medicine Specialties of Nigeria. He has reviewed publications of academic staff for some universities aspiring for positions of leadership or professorial in their institutions. He loves singing Christian hymns with varying hymn tunes. He was an active member of the college choir and music society during his high school days at Federal Government College, Warri. In December 1974, his college choir successfully presented on invitation a concert of Christmas carols of 9 lessons to the then head of state of Nigeria, General Yakubu Gowon, now retired, and other members of the Supreme Military Council at Dodam Barracks, Lagos. Participation in community service. He was honored by his people, Okuzu Progressive Union Enugu branch, for supporting developmental activities of the union in Enugu. He is also involved in developmental programs in his main home church, St. James Anglican Church, Okuzu. He was also honored in 2019 and 2024 Father's Day ceremony, respectively, by his village church, St. Mark's Anglican Church, Ifito Okuzu, Oyi local government area of Anambra State, for supporting the growth of the gospel of Christ in the area. Prof. Ikefuna is married to his heartthrob
And I learned these lessons. The first lesson I learned was that the challenges of life cannot overwhelm a person whose career path is under God's guidance. With a strong faith in God, the dark moments in life of an individual has expiry dates. And that I should follow my dreams with courage and perseverance and ignore fears or destructive thoughts. These were the things I learned from that period. And I think God did it. Thank you. So you can now see the ceremonial chairman. You can now see why it is a mountain. What was going through my mind as I was going through the mountain? I noticed 8 things. The first I want to do is to restructure our mentorship program, to enhance our learning methods, to nurture our quality management processes, and then I have a dream of a college of medicine because I have seen some colleges of medicine and I think I have a dream. And I have spoken to the alumni of this school and I think I have to tell them something in this place. And then we have to honor our academic giants before I tell you why I chose this career path. What is mentor? I was made to understand that mentor is the name of a person in a book. I didn't know. Somebody told me. So I started going through the origin of words, and I found out it's true. Simply means a wiser and intimate friend. But for us in what we are doing, mentoring simply means a process of using specialized, selected, trained individuals to produce guidance, advice, and continuous support by sharing knowledge, skills, and experience with less exposed colleagues and trainees. This is the role. If you look at that, that's actually what the mentor is. Looking at those ones. And then we look at this, what are the attributes? He must have a good listening. He must be a good listener. Well, full of practical advice and takes interest in the mentee. The key word is taking interest. If you take interest in a mentee, whatever he does, you manage and adjust. If you don't take interest, you'll be merely a supervisor. So when I see people are supervising, I've supervised many, I've mentored many. So which one are you? Now, what is wrong with you? I can see. Role of a mentor. Now you can see this simply means what I have told, what I have given to those I've mentored. Making them to move up and see the light. But that is not alone. From here, you also notice that I also benefited from them without their knowing. Because I need to do this to have my own. So it involves a high degree of mutual trust. The communication there must be very effective, and we must be available to mentor, and it's a partnership that is long-lasting, and we must mutually respect ourselves. This is not a houseboy. We must respect each other in whatever we do. Now, what are the patterns of mentoring? I benefited most from the first. That's why I started with the reverse mentoring. Most of my mentees, without knowing it, are all my reverse mentors because I can't fit into their generation. So I tactfully get information to enable me to move on. While I deliver number 2, 3, 4 is what I use to them, while indirectly I was getting that. So all my mentees and supervisees are my reverse mentors without your knowing. Thank you so much. Do we have benefits? Yes, we have. If you have it to a mentee, it gives you a better insight, a better understanding, and also the confidence is there, and you can network for your professional contacts. That is very important. But for me, what I developed is ability to coach or train. And the third one, opportunity to assist others, which is actually where I found myself because of my journey through those areas. And the last one, it says, while they are doing that, you see, you all came here because of what I have added value to your life, but you didn't know that you've also made me more visible. Thank you so much. What is inappropriate mentoring? You see, when you are calling on somebody, these experiences I had, you'll be calling somebody, he's busy chasing one other thing, right? He has no commitment. All he wants is to dump the problem with you, disappear, and then come back again. So, Oga, how now? Are you ready? So these are the problems we really need to concentrate if you're going to be a good mentor. Now, what is the state of mentorship in academics? Mainly, it is what I call informal. It's not structured. And they developed on the basis of similarity of research. and we don't document it. It's suboptimal. And at the same time, the compliance is very poor, and then there's no avenue to feedback. This is what I think the College of Faculty should do, and be able to do a formal mentorship structure, which I've listed here. You can see the phase one, the foundation, the progress where you monitor, you analyze what you have done. The dormancy, it doesn't mean you end it, but you are tapering it off to start a new one. Now, will the faculty benefit from mentorship, from good mentorship? Yes, because you know the character, and so employment and retention of good staff is there. They improve productivity, communication is better, because you know those who can communicate and those who cannot communicate, and our teaching involves communication. Now you're able to get those who have very good knowledge, and then the discipline is also there. These are the advantages of we have informal mentorship to the faculty. So what is my proposal? That we adopt a virtual and group mentorship. I've told you it worked for me, but we must find a way of documenting them and weighting them. You see, why I said waiting, if you do anything and tell the person, if you are in a class of 10 or 200, and suddenly you come to give your lecture, and midway into the lecture, you say, well, this lecture is not very, very important. I tell you, before you end that lecture, you won't see anybody again. But if you tell the person, this lecture is very important and will attract 30 marks, I tell you, you will not miss anybody. So assessment drive learning. And that's why I said you must give it a weight. If you give it a weight, it will be meaningful. If you don't do that, you will lose it. So what are my observations? My observations actually have been repeated, but the most important thing is the one I put in red. And I said the leadership qualities needed for success in today's academic and health institutions extend beyond the traditional traits of excellence in research, and as well as good and individual skills. You see, we need to reproduce ourselves before we leave. Today, I'm happy. 72, I didn't know they're up to 72. But sorry, madam. I told you yesterday that only one remains. I have about 6 more. So 72, and we keep going on. These are people who are here. Most of them are here because they're happy to what I did to them. So you please, I plead with all of us, try to reproduce yourself before you leave this system. What of our training methods? Our training methods, you will see why this one is very, very important. The training methods, we want to train competent persons. But if you train competent persons, we want to know what we have put in the system to enable the best to come out. And that is why I love this Bloom's taxonomy, which my Igwe also loves. And the chairman of Senate ceremonial, I think they are the same group. But please don't score me on this one. This one, I'm doing it as it relates to medicine. I'm not an expert, but I use it a lot. So this Bloom's taxonomy brought up a concept that looks at cognitive, psychomotor, and character. And so this is what medicine is all about. For you to define competence, it means ability of a clinician to accurately assess, that is the hand, psychomotor, reason through, cognitive, and communicate, that is attitude. The evidence, based on evidence, communicate the best options of clinical care to the patient. So what is the tool that can you use for the knowledge? The knowledge can only be used if you do the curriculum. And I say here, the curriculum instructs teachers what to teach, examination instructs students what to learn, and assessment drives learning. I'm going to use the word assessment drives learning over time, because everything we do has to go on that one. Now, the Bloom's taxonomy, this is a complex, that's for cognitive function, right? It starts from remembering to conceptualizing an idea. Very complex thing, but that is what we teach. If you are in the department, they tell you, no, we don't want level 1, we want level 3. We want level 3, but you move from level 1 to level 3. Now, what is the problem of students, our students on this one? You can see the challenges they have, which I think the faculty should help us. Confidence. They don't believe in themselves. I don't know why. Fear of failure. You see my counseling session. You see how I address this fear. fear of failure. That is their problem. And because they are afraid to fail, I'm sorry to say this, they take mood enhancers. And those mood enhancers do not help them. It worsens their reasoning. And so this is something we need to look into, the counseling session of the faculty. The other one is peer pressure and peer influence. You may think this is not serious. I once had somebody who had a receipt. He had a receipt, he failed our subject, and somebody, a friend of his, told him, okay, because you have failed, it's not a problem. Don't go for counseling, remedial lessons. Stay back, and you just take it, they will pass you. Of course, that person was also doing his own. At the end of the day, he failed again and dropped the class. So, you see, their mindset, I don't know how you get over this. But we need to get, like the dean said, you need to get their parents to help them. Course format, yes, that's our fault. When I was in school, as a group leader, I once asked my lecturer, sir, pediatrics particularly, sir, what is syllabus? He looked at me twice. Professor Koroma is not here. He would say, you, your father, your mother, the environment is the syllabus. That will tell you how serious pediatrics is. So when I became the HOD, I tried to find what I can do to help these people. And I will see that later. Level of aspiration. Inattention, inattention, don't want to say that. Because one of the big problems we have is the cell phone. I don't know how you address it. These areas, or when you say something now, they say it's fundamental human right. I don't want to do anything. We don't flog now. So if the only thing they will learn is how to fail them and fail them and fail them until they reason. Level of aspiration, that's another one. And I keep doubting whether they are genuinely interested in reading medicine. Some of them are not. In fact, there was one, a professor here will tell you. I followed him, downloaded materials for him, and I was shocked when I told him, prepare this liver. He looked at me and said, sir, politics is better than what I'm doing. So what are my counseling sessions? So when I counsel them, I tell them this, please know your strengths and limits and don't be pushed by anybody. Have passion for the job. They agree with all these ones. But what they don't agree is the last one. I say you should mentally accept that failure is a normal event to succeed in medicine. And they say, God forbid. And I say, but the person who is telling you also experienced it. So my own, how can I experience it? I'm telling you, and you're saying, God forbid. Now I usually use the ECG. The ECG here is sinus rhythm, normal rhythm, but it has some spikes, it has some trough, it has undulating surfaces. That is how life is generally in medicine. You fall, you stand. The only offender, the only nasty person is somebody who stays there, will not stand, but rather stays there and be lamenting that they have finished him. But for others who are moving, nobody knows. They don't write failure on your face. You don't know how many times I failed. Now, the next one we hear here, which is very, very important in clinical practice. You will see why this one is important, because I am looking at this. Everybody, all clinicians should aim to train children at the DOS level. They must be competent in what they're doing, right? And if you want to do it, there is something we have to do. We have to know learning, the learning pyramid. The learning pyramid has 7 techniques, but the one that interests me is this very slide. Most times we say we are taking students to the bedside, and we find out that we stay in one place, teach them, and tell them to go. In that one, what they have taken home is 20% of what you have done. That is what this pyramid is telling us. That when you read alone, 10%, you teach them what they hear, 20%, 30% when they view images, then when you demonstrate 50%, but when you do hands-on, they will take home 70%. For those in our unit when I was HOD, if you remember, this was the document I read, and I said the last week of our posting, I will assign you and do hands-on clinical experiences. And you know that year we had the best result. What are the affective domain? Affective domain has to do with emotion, our character, punctuality, dedication, being focused, empathy. The empathy you note, because you will see where we have a problem with this empathy. And that is the affective domain. That affective domain also involves the mode of dressing. Our mode of dressing can scare people away. In fact, One of the examinations I had, sorry ma, I had this girl with very long hair. I told them, usually when I have that, I talk to the madam in the house, the madam in the unit, to talk to them. Now, as he was just palpating, the hair was just just covering the person's face, and she was not removing it. And I said, this alone will fail you. And I failed that person. Because I warned them earlier to dress properly before coming for exams. Now, the National Postgraduate Medical College has actually recognized this dressing because it's actually starting from the undergraduate. We have noticed and we have identified 6 areas of concern. One is workplace attendance, which you know that some of us don't come. Punctuality, prompt delivery of assignments, group work and interaction, obeying instruction, and respect for student care. These were the ones the National Postgraduate Medical College identified in the postgraduate training and insisted that it must be in their logbooks and in the rating of A to E. Because if you see this, it will ask you, what is A? A is that you have adequate knowledge, you can work without supervision, you can reproduce it when requested, but you have all those points. So this is what the National College today adopts as our A to E, right? And they say people will do that, but I will tell you, along the line, you see why this one is also failing. Now, I'm going to talk about pediatrics. What can we do to improve pediatrics? I told you about the syllabus. I will show you the syllabus. The video demonstration, 30%. Approach to hands-on, 70%. Bedside teaching. That's very important. And now, but in medical schools, some medical schools in this country, we are doing workplace-based assessment. What does it mean? You examine, you take a video recording of that, and then you use it to have for information. Where you went wrong, areas you can improve, and where you can gain further experience. These are things we do with that. I think 2 medical schools are using it here. I try to emulate it in the unit. Where we do that, we tell someone to video us. But you know this one, what is interesting to them is not that one. Is to tell stories that are not necessary. Didn't, sir? I'm pleading that because pediatrics is the father, the child, the father, the mother, and the environment, you should give it an extra 4 weeks posting. So we should have a P3. That's what I think. So what is our formative assessment like? We have made it to be holistic by developing what I call competencies, clinical competencies. And what are they? We looked at, this is how we have captured the Bloom's taxonomy in our formative assessment. The middle one, which is, I told you, is the serious one, the psychomotor, is 42.5%. Then the character is 17.5. Now, for an average student, you can get half of the first, half of the second. The character, what is character? Try to attend some of these functions. And in our days, nobody did it to us. But these days, we're even forcing children or students to even greet patients and scoring them for that. That is why I said assessment drives learning. And so what did you do with the character? Because when I came on board, I found out that the university and NUC guideline says that it's 72%, 75% attendance. And because of that, if we have an 8-week posting, it means that 6 weeks is the allowed period. For 2 weeks, they may not be around. So I now devised a method. You know, I'm from Aba. You know, you do all these things. So I said, okay, the university guideline, you get 1 mark. But if you stay up to 90%, you get 5 marks. I think since we started that, the HOD can attest that the wards are full. Why? Because assessment drives learning. They now know that this is where you can get free score, as against the other one where you have to read. So we plead with us to do that. So in pediatrics, what are our goals? The goal is we want them to be confident, independent in their skills, excellent with scholarship, prepare them for better service delivery and care after graduation, because that's the emphasis of the Federal Ministry of Health. Clinician with integrity, and they have passion for the job. Well, this is the results we have had over the years, but that is not what I'm bringing up. Let me bring up this. What are the factors that affect assessment? These are the issues. some of us are aversion to change, and I think we should change. The other one is what I call a halo effect. A halo effect means when you see your brother come or your cousin, instead of assessing the person properly, you give him 9/10. And the other one is hawk and dove effect. The hawk is the one that reserves mark. That one, you cannot go above 5/10. But the liberals are the one that can give 10. But what I'm saying, these are human factors, and we think of the future of who you are assessing and see how you can improve. Now, the one I have to bring this one is very serious. What is the challenge of medical training with the artificial intelligence? Just recently, I learned about a robot, $140,000, that can cook, that can do all sorts of things. And I'm worried, very worried. And I think we have to look at it, because artificial intelligence has no inherent moral reasoning, make decisions based on learned patterns, lack creativity, and cannot think outside the box. Originality is not there. Then the nuisances we have with patients, and of course, the backbiting and co, we are missing it. And then also, because it's so robust, sometimes it does not give you, it can cause some confusion. What happens is, if set of data, some algorithms, and the treatment. So it can cause confusion. What my proposal is that we should try to make the psychomotor 50%, knowledge 35%, and character 15%. The reason is this. Some of us as trainers are even creating problems. You tell them as chief examiner, you tell them to submit questions, 10 questions, they give it to you that day, which means they copied it from somewhere. There is no originality. And so some of these people go to this data, AI data, source it and give you. And the students use AI to answer it and get 100 over 100. So that is the truth. So the best thing, since we are doing with clinical skills, the best thing is to increase our psychomotor. If possible, make it 50, 60, so that you will see the person do the work really. That's my thinking. So there are new assessment methods. I say you should encourage our mentees to imbibe refined knowledge-based, skill-oriented practice and characters. And our attitude approach, that's another one they complained. Some of us do not know how to create friendly environment. Yes, because you did not enjoy a friendly environment does not mean you will not give one to somebody. He says some of us do not crack jokes. And I think, sir, the dean and the provost, we will find a way whereby they do it in private universities. You get a feedback from students. That is the area where we can reduce this. Please make it friendly, and so that they understand what you mean. Don't use threat. Occasionally mix it with threat, so that they can sit up. What is our quality maintenance? I didn't use the word quality assurance, because I know that quality maintenance is a mixture of quality assurance and quality control. Quality assurance refers to preventing errors. Quality control refers to correcting errors before release. Both of them are effective. We are doing well in quality assurance. The document is perfect. Some areas I've seen, but the implementation is what I think I would look into here. This is quality. You can see quality assurance so big, but the control is somewhere. So we need to look into that. It is very important. It prevents errors. I mentioned it. Identifies areas of challenge, and working towards continuous improvement. But the more important thing is that when you have it, you provide a database that's accurate, reliable, and adequate for intended purpose. The quality assurance or quality management, the one we see from outside the external, are more interested in the internal one. We don't need to wait, do an ad hoc thing. Before you, when you know they are coming, you now start doing all these things. If you do periodic internal quality assurance, whenever they come, they will see you. You only fine-tune one or two things. When I say it now, people will say money. But there are three things. There are things you use money to do, and there are things you may not need money. One of the things is supervision. I had a place where they did some work for an accreditation exercise. Within 2 weeks, they're all broken down. How do you explain that? Is that one money again? That is being close and monitoring what we are doing. Done enough quality. When you have assessed your work very well, there are indicators that will tell you, yes, that you have done a good work. One of them is efficiency indicator. Now, that is independent clinical judgment, decision and judgment. What is the impact of the work you have done? What is how effective and how safe is your indicator? Now, when we say normal efficiency, all of us say do no harm. But I tell you today, I'm also guilty until some years back when I changed. Not the physical harm. We are also creating emotional harm. I will give you. There's a difference between a diseased patient and a patient with a disease. Today, we refer to patients, our clients, as hypertensive patients, not the person with hypertension, and they are not happy. If you don't want to know, why am I saying that? I work in a place where nobody wants to be called a sickle cell patient, and if I see it in exam, I'm not usually happy with that person. Or a cancer patient. It's a patient with cancer. After all, your prison has been changed to correctional center. So we should change and move with the time. Now, what do we do to faculty? This very slide is important, but what is more important to me, and which is what I have not seen in the document, is the fourth bullet, where we have to get a feedback. Feedback is what is important. How do we get a feedback after an exam between the departments and the faculty? When I was HOD, you will see a group, they will come and pass and tell you, Nnaemeka, is it going on? I say yes. And I say, how would they know that I did well, I didn't do well? So I tried to design a proposal. These are barriers, these are human barriers. Design a proposal that will help us to do this. One is to look at our questions or test items. It's not just looking at the surface value. If you look at the surface, it will not tell you whether this test is adequate, unless you do two important indices, the difficulty index and the discrimination index. And these indices are what we have been doing with the National College. And honestly, I use it to assess myself periodically. This is the difficulty index. And then this one, the other one is very easy. This is very easy, and this is very hard. This is the formula. Well, I won't go through this. The importance of the difficulty and discrimination test is that it tells you what to put in the bank. Now, this example of how it's scored, what it tells you simply is that this two is the one you can stop. This one is bad, very difficult. This is very easy to discard. So we establish a management system in the faculty, and when we do that, I have put up this proposal. We look at preparations before exam, and we look at preparations after exam. Don't worry, it's very scant, but you have it in the book. After exam, and then we look at the overall. Now, when we do this, we will now be able to say, yes, this person, this faculty has done well. And then we do a report and send. I also introduce, because assessment drives learning, that we should try to do what we call a faculty shield. The department with the best score should be given a shield, and the head of department should be recommended for recognition. That's the logbook. I have also said there are limitations. We are using logbooks. Some of us are signing on compassionate ground. Others are doing a proxy, and that has weakened the use of logbook until, like when we trained, when we had to, we had very good assessors who were masking the weaknesses in the logbook. And that brings me to this, that what the college is thinking is that we do video verified examination method. In other words, we record it on video and play it back, just like they do with the VAR, what's it called? Video assistant referee. That is what the college wants to do. Our college, National College, wants to do in the next few years. Now here again, we may use that to a great extent and also help ourselves by improving our skill. Otherwise, we end up having those who know so much, but they cannot do much. So that is the summary of what I'm doing. The first one is the quality assurance. Is your document intended for the purpose? The second one, did you get it right first time? We do not have a business publishing a professional exam more than once if you do it very well. Now the next one is this by Mahatma Gandhi, the Prime Minister of India. It says the future depends on what we do today. And I think the college depends on what what we are doing today. And I said, what we do today matter to the public. And so I have a dream for a good college, a college that will work, a college that will review most of the things I've written in that book. And also, I ask myself 4 objectives or prayers. I say, may our lives and the life of this great institution be filled with unending breakthroughs. May we sustain and probably raise the bar of excellence to reach phenomenal heights. And may we continue to ensure that the foundation of persons who possess our certificates are confident, strong, and sound for medical practice. And say, may we provide the type of leadership that is not hinged on friendship, so as sustain the positive development of this institution, which was initiated by our founding fathers. And the other one, may the bond that holds us together be stronger over time. Now, one of the things I found out is that we should try and involve all departments in leadership and also place the faculty above self. That way, we will get departments, you can see the hand joined together, that will be co-creators, creators of governance. The Alumni Association. A lawyer association I discussed with the past governor of this state. They have been doing well, structures and code. That's the physical structure. I'm more interested in intellectual environment. Intellectual environment, which I look forward to the day they'll have an annual faculty alumni day, organize lectures, workshops, symposia, and I told him it is best for an alumnus regulated by faculty to bring out what I call an intermedical school quiz, medical quiz. That way you stimulate the children, the students to work. Now the next one is to remember our founding father. They worked so hard. When I was in school, I was admiring them. I didn't train here, but each time they come for poly exam, I will be looking at them as great persons because they took origin from Lagos and Ibadan, and they've done so well. So I think we should honor them with what I call instituting an annals of academic honor. I don't like offices being created for them, but something like that is better. If you leave it this way, home of honor, it will be a house for lizards, cobwebs, and the rest of them. Because our simple offices are not well cleaned, so they will just mess it up. I saw something like that in Edinburgh when I was inducted as a fellow of the Royal College. And I have some names here, and I gave some reasons why they should be given. I mentioned Professor F. Udeku, Professor C. Nwokolo, Emeritus Professor F. Nwako, and Banyo, where the Siamese twins separator. And Kaine, my mentor, our head of the department, Ohebulam. In fact, I was somewhere when they were hailing him by B.B. Shehu. Professor O. Ogan, I know there's some theater, labor theater was done in his honor, but it's not been moved here. But I found out later that he's the founder of Sogon, the one all of us are enjoying. Professor Gilbert Onugulichi, unfortunately, I was learning, he was teaching me something on magnetism and physiology. But because it was not documented, I didn't know, I was just admiring it. I didn't know where to read it. So this is important of writing something. And here, I have Emeritus Professor P.A. Bibo. I was in his conference in Akure in 1999. His African Network for Protection. also believed that if grace of God flows through me, if I have grudges against you, that grace will stagnate. So I have nothing against you at all. And I pray that you will not have anything against me too.
Sure.
Now, in conclusion, I say our key roles are caring, responsibility, and knowledge. It is my belief that these attributes are attainable when imbibed the basis of our core. We can function better as trainers if we strengthen our learning methods, restructure our mental processes, and have a robust quality assurance processes with a suitable work environment. I have to appreciate God first. God has made it wonderfully for me. For each time, my reference used to be Corinthians 4:7. He said, for what makes you different from anyone? What do you have that you did not receive? And if you receive, why do you boast as though you did not? I tell you today, God has given me many, many things, and I say, may his name be praised always. Now, I have somebody who has been supportive. Supportive, sometimes they seize my phone, sometimes I wake up very early in the morning to go and read a book. In fact, on many times, she has threatened to abandon me. Yes, but if I continue the way I'm doing. But I plead with her. Yesterday, I told her only one, but now just 5 or 6, and I will slow down. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma. You've done well. My children, I thank you so much. You have been very wonderful. And my grandchild, who whenever he sees me, he teaches me how to say 1, 2, 3. And I say, with other potential grandchildren, you shall be greater than your grandfather. Please, the chairman, sir, permit me to recognize one person. And that is what medicine is all about. Professor Kajeta Nwadinigwe, I don't know whether you are here. Kajeta Nwadinigwe, I saw him today. Is he here? Now, some 12 years ago, I was involved in an accident. I chartered a vehicle to Ife. The vehicle somersaulted and put me in a slum. I managed to come out with bruises. The first person I called was Kajeta. He was then the CMAC of orthopedic hospital. And that's why I insisted he would be here. He waited for me until I arrived about 8 p.m. But what shocked me, that he said he saw something on my neck and was to install a POP. Those in my unit, in the department, saw me that period. What did Kajeta do? He brought out his seat, CMAC's office, and said that I will never go to POP room, and got me turbaned from head to here to mid-trunk for 6 weeks in February, if you know what it meant. Very hot period of the month. And that is my race with the current dean. And when the dean saw me the first time, he saw me and ran back and went and looked for then I think it was this chargeable file was coming out. The only place they could touch face their file was my face. And Onukuli was always fanning me before going to work and after when she comes back from work. I said, thank you so much, because I cannot forget these experiences. And those in my department who visited me. You people are wonderful. I'm grateful to members of my unit. For the first time, I've seen a unit that worked like the unit where I trained, where all the consultants will do the same round at the same time. And that is led by, I don't know whether she's here, Professor I.J. Emodi, Chukwu and Ezewosu. And a wonderful secretary, faculty secretary, when I was chairman of faculty, Ubesie, who will tell me, you can imagine the secretary will give you warning. Don't do this. I'm the chairman, he's the secretary. But he gives me orders. But that is learning. And my brother, SN Uwezuke, thank you for using our manual. You see, the manual is very important. And it's supposed to be advertised. I must also thank Emeritus Professor B.C. Ozumba, the 14th Vice Chancellor. Sir, you've been wonderful. Thank you, sir. Emeritus Professor Onwasigwe, big brother, you're wonderful. You had to teach me how to do this. You know, when they exit, you clear the terrain. And the late Aloy Araj, your blessed memory, and G.I. Izuara, blessed memory. They have been wonderful. I'm also happy for the contribution of Professor Bikili, OU, Ezenwosu, and CBAK, and the LOC organized by J.O. Tionya. Sir, madam, please, I need to talk about these two people. Two people, please, can you project this? What I am today cannot be without mentioning these people. The first one is Professor Olisa Medua Njokama. He's from Delta State. He was the one that introduced me to MPMCN programs and examination. Even the first primary I took, he was the one that brought it to Benin for me and taught me a lot of things. The next one is from Ekiti State, Ayodele Ojuawo, very good friend. In fact, unlike what happens now, this position I'm holding today as a vice president was initiated by Ayo. He's more qualified than myself. He said, Tony, you have to go. I don't want to go. You go there and sit there. And so each time, anywhere I stay, I mention Ayo's name. Even last month when I met in jury exam, I said, thank this man. He's a wonderful man. So you see, this is what we call one lady number. Delta State and Ekiti State. Please thank them for me. Well, I said, may we continue to illuminate the environment for greater works, but I have this, and permit me to tell two stories. Here is transmitting. The most important thing here is this one. What are we transmitting? I'll tell you a story. One is what he told me, and the other one is a life experience. In my little outfit in town, a mother brought a child for me to treat. At the end of the day, she said there was not giving any money, that the daddy didn't give any money to her. Well, the 9-year-old looked at her and said, Mommy, it's not true. Daddy gave you money. He said, in order to prove her innocence, he said, show me the money. She went to the bag, brought out the bundle. And I turned to her and said, young lady, God gave you the privilege to murder this person, but you don't know whether this is the Jeremiah of his time. Jeremiah says, I know what you are going to be. And so you don't know whether it's Jeremiah of his time. So, and she was weeping. I won't tell you what happened thereafter. The other thing, what are we handing to our generation after us? The other thing is a new story somebody told me. Very rich man. He was so rich that he felt the best thing was to keep the mother in the old people's home. No problem. One day he brought the boy in JS2 and one other person. They went to see the mother. After that, the mother saw them off, well, and went back to her base. As they were walking back to the car, the mischievous boy looked at her and said, Daddy, this place is very nice. When you are old, we'll put you there. What I'm saying is that our children, the generation after us is watching us. What are we transmitting to them? Are we transmitting our skills, our knowledge, our character to them? The question is for us. Thank you so much for all this. And I thank you, and may the grace and blessings of God abide in us as we continue to serve mankind, transmit the needed traits to the younger generation, as well as improve our work environment and relationship with one another. To God be all the glory and praise.
Great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hands
Has provided.
Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed,
Thine hands have provided.
great is thy
Faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Ladies and gentlemen, I promised you, I know that we have drunk from this deep fountain of knowledge and experience. Mr. Chairman, some items have been kept on your table for you to make presentation to our valedictory lecturer. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Chairman of Senate Ceremonials. I did promise us that this was going to be an interesting lecture. Was it interesting? Please, can we clap for Prof? And honestly, every person that listened to this lecture must have learned one or two things. You've learned what mentorship is all about. We've seen what the mountains were, and we've seen both the Hindsight, Insight, and what the Foresight. Everything is contained in this lecture. Myself, I learned a lot of things. And the Prof, I also want to let you know that your fears about artificial intelligence will equally be addressed, because you find out that AI has even much better brain than human beings. If used well, it does all those things, it maneuvers them. But that's, by the way, I want to appreciate you for giving us a very wonderful lecture. We've learned a lot. I've learned a lot. I listened attentively, and I'm going to go home with a whole lot of lessons today. I want to tell the dean of the faculty, you have a duty to do. I'm giving you this task as the representative of the acting vice chancellor and as the chairman of today's event. Please, I would like you to do a summary, a kind of executive summary of all the suggestions he made vis-a-vis training in the university, and in particular in the college. I want to say it's not just the college, even other aspects of the university. I found so many, interesting things, suggestions that, he made, which I believe is going to benefit all of us, not just for clinical training, but for everybody in the university. So I want to appreciate you for what you did. And in commemoration, you can stand up. In commemoration of your lecture, the valedictory lecture today, the university is giving you this certificate of presentation, which reads, University of Nigeria, be it known that Professor Anthony N. Ikefuna of the Department of Pediatrics delivered a valedictory lecture of the University of Nigeria entitled Traversing Mountainous Academic and Professional Realms with Hindsight, Insight, and Foresight on the 28th November 2024. Congratulations, sir. And to go with that, the university is also presenting you a plaque, which also reads University of Nigeria Valedictory Lecture Series. Professor Anthony Nnaemeka Ikefuna, 9th valedictory, please can we clap for him, 9th of the whole university, 9th valedictory lecture. Given this day, Thursday, November 28, 2024. Congratulations, sir. And we also appreciate the fact that you have numerous friends, family members, and associates that are gathered here. So we are presenting 50 copies of your lecture for you to give to them. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a wonderful lecture, and I am happy that I am part of this lecture, and I hope you're happy too. If you're happy, can you wave your hand? You can see everybody is happy with your lecture. So congratulations, sir. I'll hand over to the chairman of Senate Ceremonial.
Thank you very much, sir. I now want to give some announcements. There will be no more inaugural lectures for the year, no more valedictory lectures for the year. And Some other thing, people at the high table here and all the emeriti professors, like Professor Agaji, who is seated on that divide, they are all expected at the DVC's office immediately after this gathering. And there are special guests. They must have been eye-marked or hand-marked. They are all going to CMAC boardroom. High table, emeriti professors, you know where you are going. Which
So, ladies and gentlemen, as we were going on with the lecture, a very important dignitary arrived in this place. Ladies and gentlemen, can we put our hands for the 14th Vice Chancellor of the University of Nigeria, my Oga himself, Professor B.C. Ozumba. Please, can we do more? Thank you very much, sir, for honoring this lecture. Thank you.
There's no way I would have forgotten him. He is a behemoth in structure and proportion. Thank you very much, Professor Anthony Nnaemeka Ikefuna, for this gathering. I'm looking at you now as a very close colleague, because you spoke as if you read education, and especially educational psychology. First of all, you told us not to label anybody. So when you are talking about diabetics, that is labeling, because it's as if they are known for no other thing but diabetes. So it's better to say people living with diabetes. Mr. Chairman, I now wish to say thank you to all who made today a huge success. The Acting Vice Chancellor, thank you. Deputy Vice Chancellor, Enugu Campus, thank you very much. The 14th Vice Chancellor of the University of Nigeria, Professor Chuma Ozumba, I salute you with tremendous respect, sir. All principal officers, all deans, directors, heads of departments, all emeriti professors, all past valedictory lecturers, all professors from UNN and elsewhere, all friends, family and associates of the valedictory lecturer, I want to say special thanks, even though it's in absentia, to the GOC 82 Div and other generals that came in with him, and the Igwe of Okozo. I salute you. Gentlemen of the 4th Estate of the REM, my team from UNN and Soka, PRO Enugu Campus Choice, ladies and gentlemen, lions and lionesses, I can only say thank you very much. Since I lack any other better way of expressing my gratitude, I'll fall back on those same words. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. And now we say, to God be all the glory for everything. Thank you. As we go out, as we recess, it is the reverse order. People on the high table will go first. Then everybody will come after. Thank you very much. Closing prayer is to be said by the same person, Professor, Emeritus Professor Onwasiwe.
May we all stand. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us gracious Father, we thank you for this hour of being with one another and with you. We thank you, gracious Lord, for your inestimable grace. We thank you, gracious Lord, for your indescribable love. We thank you, gracious Lord, because you are the reason even for this gathering. Father, we thank you for the testimonies of this grace, of this day. As we thank you, gracious Father, because your own testimony is even greater. Your testimony, gracious Lord, that you have given us eternal life, and that this life is in Christ Jesus, and that whosoever has Christ has life. Father, as we disperse, we pray that we may not depart from your presence, but bless us, gracious Lord, with your heavenly benediction. And gracious Lord, that at the end of time, Lord, we shall be counted worthy of your eternal kingdom. This we ask in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. The Lord be with you.
National anthem, please.
So with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed.
Please, I beg you to remain standing and allow the members of the high table exit the hall first. I am begging you, please, remain standing and allow the members of the high table exit the hall. Thank you very much for coming. We appreciate your presence. We want to say, have a wonderful journey back to your various destinations. Thank you once again.
Campe, campe, mi ade, campe, campe.